It's Thursday, November the 8th, 2007. We're in Ramadi, Iraq right now at Security Station Sabotage, which is Arabic for 17. This is a continuation of the first tape. Sir, would you just please give us a name? No need to spell it.
Sergeant Worth, Robert Blake.
Okay. On this tape, we're going to want... Oh, could you give us the timelines too for this? We're going to cover just this deployment.
Just this deployment. This be Ramadi 2 again.
Okay, which was what dates?
This started. I came here in March, and all the way till now November is when I'll be leaving of 07.
Okay, okay. Sir, what the intent of this tape is we're going to get a background of you. However, there was a few things we were discussing prior that you said there was a few things from the first tape that you wanted to cover, and I believe you were discussing more the coin concept, the counterinsurgency. You were talking about there were some things that you had to give up, that you ended up some vices that you would have no part of, and now they're apparently a regular part of your life. Could you please explain it to us?
Well, just this whole coin concept, like I was saying on that first tape, it's just to really succeed at it. It's got to be something you're really dedicated at. It can't be somebody coming in here, somebody who doesn't want to do it. Like I was saying, I don't really like to be here. It's not something I like to do, like hanging out with these people. But
and you mean by people the
local nationals of Iraq? Yes, I don't really care for their culture that much. Like I was born and raised in America, like the personal boundaries and stuff I was talking about. I just I don't really care for it that much. But like I said, it's something I wanted to do. I thought I could do a lot of good here. You can't put somebody in this environment if they don't want to do it. They're going to fail at it, and they're not going to succeed. So, like me, like playing my part, being second in command over there, they had a lot of junior Marines coming over there. Some of them, they didn't really want to do it, but it was my job to really show them how it was more important. Basically, like, what I get out of this is you have these junior Marines coming over here. We talked about Ramadi 1 and Ramadi 2. Them coming over just for Ramadi 2 and not seeing the first deployment and not really seeing the kinetic type environment.
Okay, so these Marines, and they were never actually in any of the combat or fighting.
No. Like I said, Ramadi 2 here, we've never fired our weapons. We haven't taken fire. There's not the mortars, the attacks, and stuff like that from the last deployment.
Okay, I think we were talking earlier where you were saying that you never smoked your entire life. And,
no, okay.
And now you actually were in Ramadi 1 the first time, where I assume a cigarette or whatnot would actually help you out as far as staying awake from that.
That's what you think. I never was a big fan of cigarettes at all. Never smoked my entire life. Never did anything to do with them. Wouldn't even let anybody smoke in my truck, anything like that. But being in the coin environment, and like I said, coming over here and wanting to succeed at my job and what I'm doing, and studying their religion, and their culture, it's disrespectful to not take something that somebody offers to you. And being around all these officers and these high officials over at these police stations that are coming around, I couldn't being my first impression on them, disrespect them in that way, even though it was just those little things. So when they'd offer me cigarettes and that stuff, and I'd have to take them, and over time, just the IPs, when they begin to like me, they'd want to give me something, and it'd be disrespectful to turn it down. So going from never smoking a cigarette in my life to just getting constantly non-stop cigarettes handed to me throughout the day, and I'm pretty sure I'll never smoke again after I leave here because I still dislike them. But just the other night, I sat down with one of their majors, Major Humdy. This guy just absolutely loves me and adores me. He will not let me go without a cigarette in my hand. Once the one burns out, he hands me another one. And I spend a lot of time talking with him. He's the intelligence officer over there. And like I said, there's some IPs that just get to know him. You want him to be your friend for the information's sake. He's not going to share information with you if you don't like him. So I just sit there and spend time with him, BS with him, and he would just feed me, force feed me these cigarettes just non-stop. And I probably smoked almost a pack straight just sitting down with him. This was just the other night.
So you say that a number of these Iraqi police don't I guess maybe misunderstand who you are per se. I mean,
I don't want to say that they misunderstand who I am. They just don't know. Like I just portray this different image of me. I wouldn't say a different image. I'm still like the same guy. I just I don't like let them know that I don't prefer for their culture, that I don't smoke, stuff like that. I just don't want to offend them in any way to where it would cause them to like me less, or to be less prone to like approach me or something like that,
okay,
or
so
not share the information with me.
So the intent is to make yourself approachable.
That's right. Yes.
Okay. I want to go back to when you were discussing the junior Marines. You said there were some challenges as far as a number of them weren't involved in Ramadi 1. They weren't here during the combat.
That was the biggest problem. Yes.
Could you give us like some examples of some of these like challenges you had to overcome?
Okay. Well, like I was saying, if I could pick one of these fights, like out of the Ramadi 1 or Ramadi 2, it'd definitely be the Ramadi 2. Me being in Ramadi 1, seeing like the Marines dying, taking the casualties, the attacks and everything like that. This is definitely, Ramadi 2 is the much safer side of the war, and me being able to see both of them, I realized that more than any of them, because they were never in that kinetic type environment. So these junior guys coming over here, you know, like them joining the Marine Corps, they think, oh, we're going to go to war, we're going to be in fights, I'm going to kill somebody, I'm going to fight for my country, and then they get over here and they're not. They're dealing with like administrative stuff, they're dealing with like logistics and stuff like that, which they never really thought. It's like a different side of war that you never even think about, and completely cut off from like the combat type stuff. And they're just like, oh, what are we doing here? Why are we doing this? We should be out killing terrorists, like fighting them. And like I said, you know, killing a terrorist is not a way to win this war. You kill a terrorist, you can make 10 more. And like you kill one of those terrorists, and they make 10 more, and it just continues to multiply and multiply. And we learned that through our mistakes, and we really started fixing them. And this deployment was just like a major breakthrough with this whole coin and the whole integration concept that they're having. And the Marines, I think the biggest problem is they don't see the difference. This is all they've ever seen, and they don't understand how well this is working. And it's just a big challenge for them, trying to make them understand. Like they have the same problem as me, where they don't really care for the culture that much. Like they might not like some of the IPs, but they don't hide it like I do. They won't like act and pretend. They just kind of are just indifferent to it, and it does. It shows like huge difference. They won't approach him. They won't share information with him. They don't want to sit down and talk to him. Like
is that a real challenge? Because I assume that kind of disrupts the whole.
It does kind of disrupt the coin piece of it.
Is this a real? I mean, is this a problem? Is this like half of your section, or maybe just a few individuals? Because in any organization, you're going to have a few outliers who are not going to really cooperate. I mean, could you kind of give us?
It's a little bit of a problem. Like I'd say, I could probably say like 3 of my guys out of the 11, maybe 4, who are just cause like little problems, but it's no big deal. Like me being in the position I'm in.
They're not getting any fights or anything, are they?
No, nothing like that. We actually, like I said, these guys were kind of picked, not like hand selected, like you're coming in, but we weeded out the guys who we thought would cause problems and would be troublemakers, because we knew that this was such a sensitive subject, and that this would be a difficult task, that we took out those guys that we felt that couldn't handle it or would be problems. These like few guys in my mind, I'm saying, they don't cause fights or no problems. They just you can tell they're just more aggravated around the IPs. When the IPs ask them for something, or like a local come up to them, they don't want to talk to him. They don't want to engage with him. They just want to kind of like be here, do their job, and then they don't want to intervene with them as much. And
no, like you were saying, I don't know if we mentioned this in the first tape, but apparently, perhaps we did, but we can revisit it. You were saying here in Iraq, and especially in the Arab culture, they have no consideration for personal space.
No, they don't.
Yeah, I think we did, but is that really the challenge for your Marines? Is this fact that they don't have their own place? I mean,
it might be that. It might be the personal space. I'm sure that is some of it. How close the IPs get when they talk to you, and
because they're in close contact with their
very
Marines,
close contact.
But the Marines all have shared experiences, and they can they're all Americans, and they can talk